Hello everyone, welcome to this prediction video on my channel, and we're going to look over match day 1 of the Asian Cup. The first game's right around the corner, so let's get right into the predictions, starting with Qatar vs Lebanon. What perfect way to start the tournament by having two Middle Eastern nations face off against each other. Qatar are the favourites as well as the hosts. There's less pressure for Lebanon to get at the win. Qatar have been in better form recently. Based on the quality of the teams, I'm going to say Qatar win this one. Qatar 2, Lebanon 0. Up next, we look at China vs Tajikistan. Tajikistan did all right in the World Cup qualifiers with a draw at home to Jordan and a win against Pakistan. China, I think from that last World Cup qualifiers, they've been looking good. They did lose to Hong Kong at home, but as I said before, they had 3 players sent off. I'm expecting a close game here. I'm predicting a 2-1 win. And now Group B, which I probably should have done this next game beforehand. Australia vs India, the favourites versus the least favourites of the group. I expect Australia to win this, but I think India could get a surprise goal out of nowhere. And also shout out to Intercontinental Hotel, as Australian and Indian themed restaurants will go head to head. I think Australia have enough attacking quality to get a fairly comfortable win, but as I said, I think India could get something out of nowhere. I'm going for a 3-1 win. And Uzbekistan versus Syria. Syria have gone a bit downhill. Uzbekistan do have their best player unavailable. I don't expect Uzbekistan to be challenging for first, but I think they can get at the win that's going to take them through. I'm going to say they'll get a 2-0 win. And up next, we start in Group D with Japan versus Vietnam. Japan, amazing depth. They've been battering so many teams in their recent fixtures. For example, they won 6-1 against Jordan earlier this month. And I'm expecting another fairly big score here. Do I go 4 or 5-0? For this game, I'll say Japan win 4-0. I almost said 5-0, but this one I'm split and I could easily change to 5-0 later in the video. Let's go to Group C, UAE vs Hong Kong. This game I'm going to say the UAE get a 3-0. And now Iran vs Palestine. Palestine, I think, will give their all. Coming up against Taremi, Azmoun, and maybe even Yakambash is going to be difficult. I have a feeling Palestine might get a goal from somewhere. I'm going to go for 3-1. And now Indonesia versus Iraq. First of all, I'm going to go for a 5-0 to Japan. I'm sure they'll get an extra set piece from somewhere. Indonesia versus Iraq. Indonesia haven't been on great form coming into this tournament, but Iraq do look to be playing well lately. When I think about these two against each other, I'm thinking it'll be a 2-0 win for Iraq. And now let's go to Group E, where I probably should have done first game first. South Korea versus Bahrain. South Korea have a number of good individuals. Bahrain, they've been doing well in the last year. My feeling is this game's going to be similar to England vs Senegal, where the underdog's going to have some moments. Then the favourites will start being clinical. In the second half, there'll be a goal that will sort of slow things down, and I think South Korea are going to win 3-0. Malaysia vs Jordan, big game this for both sides. Jordan lost 6-1 to Japan. I was thinking 1-1, but given the fact that Malaysia can score, or Jordan, they themselves conceded 6 to Japan. Malaysia scored 4 against Kyrgyzstan, but Malaysia defensively are also questionable. I'm going to change from 1-1 to 2-2. And now let's go to Group F, rounding things off. Thailand versus Kyrgyzstan. Thailand's preparation hasn't been ideal at all. Kyrgyzstan, well, I believe this is their first tournament here, but if not, they're not a regular at all. This is a must-win for both sides. Thailand, they won the last Southeast Asian Championship. The thinking is they'll get a 2-0 win, but I don't have hope for either side. And now Saudi Arabia versus Oman. This is certainly the team that Saudi Arabia would most likely drop points to. When you've got Salam El Dazari, that's going to be critical. And then you've got Roberto Mancini and Azawara, the goalkeeper. But I do think Oman will make it close. My prediction, however, is Saudi Arabia 2, Oman 1. So there we have it. There were my predictions. What are yours? Leave your comments in below. Leave your predictions and your thoughts. And which game are you most looking forward to? Of course, we'll be predicting match day 2 of both of the Africa Cup of Nations and the Asian Cup. And do let me know if you want any other videos on both of these competitions. Let me know your thoughts. But in the meantime, see you in the next video.